I want to just check in. I see that Stephen has arrived, so he's also a member of the Energy Committee. And what I have is, the sequence of our agenda tonight. I had Bristol Community Solar on the top, and I see a few people who've come to the meeting who might be involved with community solar. So I feel like I should go forward with community solar first, since that's what people probably have seen and heard. So so I want to just give a little update where it's at. About of the whole array, about 25% of it people have said they're interested in, and that's not just Bristol, but that includes the Interfaith Power and Light and the Interfaith Climate Action Network, churches and faith groups all around, and also Acorn Energy Co-op and the Acorn Addison County Regional Acorn, yeah, what is it? Whatever Acorns, I forgot the Acorn part.
Localization, isn't localization in there?
Localization Network, thank you. So, and hey, Porter, you're here too. So I guess just overall, people are signing up, and it's still in the process or the phase now where priority goes to those groups that I just mentioned. And on May 7th, it's opened up to the wider Green Mountain Power territory, which is a lot of Vermont. And so more people will have access to jump on if they want. We have a few more meetings. This week we have one tomorrow night, and then next week there's one on Wednesday. And well, Porter, if you're right here, do you have any questions? Okay, great. I'll just keep talking then. So people can ask questions at the meetings and learn more at the meetings, but also individuals are finding they need a little more, help to understand their specific scenario. How many units do I need for this many kilowatt hours a year and that kind of thing. And so if anyone's listening, I'm just going to say that please feel free to reach out to Mary at Acorn Energy and let her know that you would like to speak to someone individually to figure out your situation, because it is complicated, to figure out what you really need and what are all the factors. If you already have solar panels in your house, there's so many variables that it's not that easy to figure out. So make sure you get the help you need to figure out what you need. Let's see what else. I guess, yeah, go ahead.
So you said 25% is spoken for so far?
Yeah, I don't know if all those folks have actually put down deposits or they've just said their intention is to buy.
Is that what you expected at the juncture, or is it higher or lower? I'm just curious if you're tracking for sales for local people as you expected.
Personally, I didn't really have an expectation. I think well, actually, no, I wanted there to be more. I thought it would be great to have more because I'd love to see the people right in our town buy into it. Not that I don't want other people to, but I'd love to see Bristol residents. And I think it has been less than I thought. I thought the people would jump on it. And oh, Richard, did you raise your hand because you have info?
Yeah, I talked to Tom John today at length, and they are a bit concerned that it's going out more slowly than expected. And nobody really knows why. There's previous two projects pulled up very fast, but whether it's the COVID situation, uncertainty that people have, or economic or whatever, it's not going as quickly. So we really need to talk to everybody. If you see somebody on the street, stop them. It's that kind of thing.
Has there been any feedback from any of the meetings or from people who have reached out with questions regarding why they might not be stepping up?
That's a really good question. And you might be able to shed some light on that. I don't know.
No, I sent my deposit. I
Okay.
don't know. And, you know, at the Bristol Rec Club meeting last week, we talked about it as a board, and we're definitely going to buy in as well. So the Rec Club board is intending to do it. We're waiting to sort out what our annual usage is. It varies and it's not very much. It might really only be like one panel. Or, you know, like the minimum of 5 panels.
Yeah.
But like the minimum purchase. You know, I don't know. And it was very positively received. There were 2 people on the board who had attended meetings and, you know, shared the information and were positive. And there were some questions, but nothing, you know, nothing negative. It was all very positive. So I don't know. I wonder if that could be part of the next Front Porch Forum push, is not just like, hey, this is available and it's, you know, this is your time, Bristol residents, for a pre-buy, but also if you have questions, you know, here are some neighbors you could talk to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that would be useful.
Um,
No, and because I wrote to Mary and she wrote back, and she also, some of my questions she said she couldn't answer, and she had, I think, an Acorn board member respond to me via email, and that was satisfactory for me. But there are people who might prefer to speak to a Bristol neighbor in person or on the phone and get an actual question answered, or have that person say, let me help you get that answer, or let me find that answer for you, rather than just saying, call Mary.
Okay, that's great input. So I think what I should do is maybe contact the people who have already agreed to do it and see if they're willing, if they'd be willing to be contacted.
Yeah, I would be happy to be contacted. And I think that's a great idea. People who are bought in say, you know, would you be willing to be contacted to talk about your experience and how you got the answers you needed? And,
Yeah.
you know, like not putting us out there as experts, but just saying a neighbor to neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't actually feel like putting it out there on Front Porch Forum myself, but I'm happy to be a resource. And I think if the Energy Committee said we have community members who will be willing to talk to you.
Yeah.
I think the one thing you want to be careful about, if you get into technical information or cost information, I think it's probably
Yeah.
not that wise to advise people on that, but to refer them back to Acorn, just in terms of personal liability.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, it's been very sort of matter of fact, and maybe it just needs to be a little more folksy. So,
Yeah.
and I think maybe members of the Energy Committee can be it, you know, to just talk about why you're putting this out there, or, you know, a lot of the questions that I heard, frankly, at the meeting, they're all in the handout.
Yeah.
So if somebody didn't read the handout, or they read it and they weren't certain, just having somebody talk them through it, like you don't have to make up the answers, you just have to read the materials.
I think your reasoning for why it's important to you is really important to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing, I think can be really helpful.
Yeah. Is that anything? So you'd be into sharing that if I had someone call or something, or do you have anything you'd say now, or is it not feel right here?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, like I would have done solar earlier if my property could have accommodated it, but with the pitch and the slate on our 100-year-old house, that wasn't really appropriate. Plus we have giant trees and don't get a lot of sun, and practically none of it from the south. So solar wasn't really going to be an option for us here on the property. And so I was very excited with the community opportunity to help offset my electric use, and I'm getting an electric car as soon as I can. So that was also, you know, like cool too. So yeah, I'm like, it's pretty simple reasons. There's no rocket science there.
Yeah, it's great.
Great. Thanks, Porter. All right, does anyone else have questions or comments around Bristol Community Solar and ways we could share. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I am still going to go along with this. Is this going to be okay for you, Stephen, not to jump in yet? Because I just feel like I want to go with the way that
Fine.
we set up. Okay. So window dressers is next. Stephen, do you want to talk? Oh, Porter.
I need to go, but I really need to get a lawnmower like soon.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see where you guys were with that whole thing
Okay, great.
before I do something
Great.
spontaneous.
All right. Stephen, are you okay with us just going ahead with mowing first?
Sorry.
It's all right.
Or I can just read the minutes, or you can
Oh,
tell me later.
I can just answer Porter's question first and then get into
Yeah.
the larger issue afterwards.
All right.
Okay.
Where are we? What's the timing?
Okay, the timing is that just today, the website went online. And so I got a peek of it about 10 minutes ago. And it's full of information, ways to compare prices and this and that. And so it's ready to access, and that's moelectric.org.
But again, I'm happy to just address Porter's question really quickly, and then Stephen can do his thing, and then we can get back to the going through the website.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep, go for it.
So Porter, really quickly, are you looking for a walk behind mower or a riding mower?
Walk behind.
Okay. So did you know that there are incentives available?
No,
No?
didn't know.
Okay. So that's one of the things this campaign is going to do. And on the website, there is, under the resources, I think, or maybe it's its own page, is a list of all the incentives, but the only one you really need to know about is Green Mountain Power.
Okay.
And there's a link to the information. It's I think it's $50 or $75 for an electric mower and a push behind mower. And on the website there's a lot of different manufacturers out there. Your local hardware store. Are you in Bristol?
Yeah, I'm going to Martin's.
Yeah. So Martin's is carrying electric mowers now.
I saw them.
Yeah, and I think he carries the Ego.
It looked like there were two brands. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I sort of
Yeah.
remember that
It was the Greenworks, I believe, right?
That was one.
Oh, okay.
And a few
So-
else, maybe.
Yeah, so there's a lot of them out there. One of the things the website's going to do is have reviews
Okay.
from people, because there's so many out there. I haven't heard anything bad about any of them, but I haven't really, other than, well, that's why I created the website, is to collect reviews. But it's, you could probably put something out on Front Porch Forum, see if people have different experiences with the different models that are available. But, and there's also a list of specifications on the website, so you can compare different models. And then also the last thing I'll say is the incentives are also for the chore tools as well. So, and Green Mountain Power just came out with a bundle. So they have they came out with incentives for the string trimmer and that sort of thing. Do you own one of those?
Yeah, I'm not really much of a gardener, but I do hope to get the lawn mowed.
Okay. So anyway, the chore
it.
tools with the string trimmer, they're offering incentives for that. And if you buy all three things, they have a bundle. So there's quite a bit of money that's available.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm happy to talk to you too afterwards, but the website has a lot of information. So,
Great. I'll check out the website. I'll go to Martin's, see what they have. I'll go back to the website, read the reviews, and then we'll see what happens.
all righty. Thanks.
Hey, everyone, Stephen Taylor is not here on the website right now. I mean, on the web. So maybe we should just continue with this. What do you got?
Sally, I talked to him yesterday in the grocery store. I don't know, maybe if he doesn't yet hear it all. I can kind of summarize what he said about window dressers.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, but let's wait until the end.
yeah. I thought he popped in, but he's
I
not.
didn't see him. When you said that, I looked and I didn't see him.
I didn't see him either.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead, Richard, and if you want to speak about that. Oh, you want to speak about it at the end? Okay, great. I got you. We'll go with the electric mower right now then.
Is there more? Should I stay?
Yeah, sure. So I guess at this point, I can try to share my screen.
Or I can try and share mine.
That would be easier, I think. I'm
If
gonna,
you gotta
gonna
let
give
me
you-
share though, I think.
yep. There you go. I think
That's it.
great.
Okay, so can you all see that?
Well, not yet.
Hold on, maybe I have to go to my share screen. You're sharing screen. Mo Electric. How about now?
It's saying an operation on the server timed out. The server may be down, overloaded, or there may be too much net traffic with an exclamation point.
Well, you're sharing your screen. New share, pause screen. Let me maybe refresh. People are welcome also, if they can open up, they can minimize their, I don't know why it's not seeing that.
Yeah.
You can also go onto the website yourselves. And I can just we can walk through it. Let me, hey Gabe?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why my screen share is not working? Gabe was the creator of this website. I know,
Awesome.
but they're not saying they can see it.
Oh.
It says an operation on the server. Oh, there it is.
Nope.
It's
Perfect.
good.
I don't know what happened.
That's great.
Okay, thanks, Gabe. My technical support person. So I'm just going to buzz through. There's a lot in it. So this is just the homepage. But the main thing, so if you see the campaign goals, and then the resources, what I really want to direct people to. So as I was mentioning to Porter, there's the incentives, and all the incentives are listed. What I'm finding is I go into stores and the people who are selling this equipment don't even know that these incentives exist. There's the reviews you can use, so there's quite a bit of things on here that are going to need people to participate in. So right now, I don't know if we have a couple mowers, I think. But as more people use this stuff, then they can put in reviews. The idea is to have reviews from Vermonters that are not, are sort of, they're moderated, they're vetted to some degree, making sure it's a real person and not a vendor or a manufacturer. And then even more important, or not more important, but equally important, there are calculators so that people can, advocates can go to their local town or their place of worship or their school and talk to people. And these calculators, so you've got life cycle cost comparison, and these compare an electric versus a gas powered mower. And these are interactive. So when you open it up, and there's all kinds of notes and assumptions that are in there, it's all explained, but you can put your data in, and this graph or table shows the difference of the life cycle cost of a gas, and it's pretty significant. We're talking double the cost over 8 years to own a gas mower versus an electric. So even though electric mower, a commercial mower, costs, almost in some cases twice as much as a gas mower, over 8 years, it's tremendous difference in terms of what's saved. And then there's another spreadsheet for CO2 emissions and fuel cost comparison. These are all spreadsheets that use to evaluate what the advantages are, the benefits of electric mowers. And we've also expanded that to include residential, but the savings for a backyard mower, it's different, but obviously not as significant. And then these are all specs for like residential walk behind mowers. So click here and here's all these mowers. Pretty much every single mower that's offered is listed here and with the specs. So quite a bit of time to put all this together, but I'm hoping it's going to be, people who use it and help make decisions. Then there's a directory of vendors who's selling this equipment. We're going to be looking for testimonials for people who just want to spread encourage other people to use electric lawn care and talk about why they're using it and what they like about it. Oh, this says private. I'm not sure why, but we also want to encourage contractors to make a switch. So either to find a contractor, which there's not many. You guys are lucky you have one in your area, but he's probably full. But to encourage other contractors. And we have this market research survey. So you fill this form out, and then depending on whether you want your information shared or whether you want to remain anonymous, that information will be shared with local contractors to let them know that there is a market for these services. Because right now, a lot of contractors, they're starting to hear about electric lawn care, but they're not hearing it from their customers that their customers want it, because their customers don't really know. It's a chicken or egg situation. If the customers don't know that exist, they're not going to ask the contractor or ask their contractor, why aren't you switching, or ask them to switch. And the contractors aren't going to switch until they hear from their customers that there's a demand for these services. And then, so that's what else. So this is another place where Energy Committee members and just general members of the public who want to encourage electric lawn care and help out by, if they own electric mower and or chore tool, they can register on this with the campaign to be willing to give demos to their neighbors, people who are interested but are a little skeptical and just want to see this work, because there is a lot of lack of understanding and or mistrust of that electric lawn care is going to work as well as gas-powered equipment, because it doesn't make so much noise. People associate noise with power. And then in large part because of Sally's encouragement, we have a section in here about cooperative ownership models, which my community and I live in a homeowners association, and we put together this runtime and recharge calculator scheduling tool that's available on the site too for large groups. Obviously, if a couple neighbors get together and share one of these equipment, then they don't need a scheduling tool. We have 16 families sharing a residential riding mower, and so we needed this. And as I say in here, right at the beginning, why this is even a viable option is because electric mowers don't require the same kind of, nowhere near the maintenance and repair issues that a gas mower needs. There's no oil changes, so no discussion about who's gonna change the oil and pay for it. And, it's the only thing that has to be decided is who's gonna sharpen the blades, once a year, which are very easy to take off and bring somewhere. And then the get involved, I'm going to move this over because I can't see it. So there's these ways that individuals can get involved in the campaign too, because this is grassroots and it really depends on people, people power. I call it ambassador here. This is the demo network. And it says partner, but we're actually, it's not an official partner, but we're going to be looking for organizations, entities who want to support this and be listed on the website as a supporter of the campaign. So that's it. And there's a lot on there. I encourage people to check it out. If you see anything that is typo or something's not working, please let us know. We literally just made this live, like an hour ago. We've been working on it for a couple months and hundreds of hours of time. But I think the time is right. It seems like 4 years ago when I started, I'd talk about electric lawn care and people thought I was, I just got a lot of blank stares. But so many more choices available in terms of equipment, and it's just part of the conversation now in a way that it wasn't before. But there's still a lot of people, there's still a lot of gas powered mowers being purchased, and a lot of people that don't either know about electric lawn care options or have misconceptions about it. So happy to take questions, comments, whatever.
Yeah, does anyone have a question about this right now?
Yeah, Stephen, the ambassador or people who would offer to allow a neighbor to take a look, maybe try it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be localized?
Absolutely. That's the main goal. That's why it's called neighbor to neighbor. I think somewhere on here we called it neighbor to neighbor because it really, a lot of this is it's all going to be localized, or I shouldn't say all, but this is one of the things that's very much dependent on neighbors, community members.
Yeah, it sounds good. I've been mowing with 2 Black & Deckers over about a 12-year period, and I just junked them and bought an Ego.
You did get go.
Yeah, I did. And
I think it's one of the better ones. How did you decide to do that? Why did you decide?
I looked at the reviews.
Yeah.
You almost can look at it and get a sense that it's a really well put together.
Does Martin sell the Ego?
I got it at Lowe's. I don't know if they do, but it certainly looks impressive. I have not mowed yet, but I will kind of keep a little bit of a mental, or maybe even write down my impressions and share them.
Yeah. Submit a review and a testimonial.
Yeah. The other thing I wonder, in your cooperatives, have you thought that each person would purchase their own battery?
No, it's really not necessary because the recharge time on these things is really quick.
Yeah, this is an hour. That's right. Yeah.
So if it's a couple neighbors, they just, you got a whole day, one person mows for an hour or two, whatever it is, and then it's available for the other person. They plug it in and charge it in a couple hours or less, and it's ready to go. So It's really not, that's really not necessary. And the batteries are pretty expensive, so.
Yeah.
um,
All right, any other questions?
So Sally, will we post this information? How are we going to spread the word?
Well, we can have it posted on the town website, and I can put it in a Front Porch Forum post. And yeah, we've got to talk about that. How do you, hey, maybe we
So-
should stop screen share and see everyone again
um,
and then talk.
So can I just say something about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working on a series of emails, announcements basically, and tailored to different groups. So one group would be energy committees. You know, a lot of the same information, but the end of it is tailored to energy committee, for example, to say, here's what you can do to promote this campaign. One would be to just forward the email. Another would be to make a synopsis, a summary, whatever, and post on Front Porch Forum with a link to the website. You know, the challenge is there's a lot, you know, whether you're talking about the incentives or, you know, availability, local hardware store, you know, supporting your local store, the demo network, you know, it's just a lot there, but yeah. So I'll be sending that email, hopefully, probably tomorrow. And then, you know, any way that people want to help spread the word and get people to visit the website and engage is what's needed.
Great.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm glad it worked for you to make it just in time to this meeting. This is great.
Yeah, me too. Appreciate it. And, you know, in large part, Sally, I have to say that you're reaching out to me was one of the reasons that I decided to kick this campaign into high gear.
That is
So
awesome.
the committee's decision to focus on electric lawn care came right when I was, you know, kind of figuring out what I was going to do after losing my relationship as the regional sales rep for Mean Green, and which came as kind of a shock and a disappointment for a lot of reasons. But I had considered this, and then just hearing from you, and then the Stowe Energy Committee and the Norwich Energy Committee, it was like, okay, now I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I thank you and the committee for providing that little extra spark that I needed to really focus on this. And so I'm really, it's symbolic that you are the first group that's seeing this.
that's
Really.
great. Well, it made me so
Appropriate,
happy.
I should say.
Yeah, it made me so happy because I'd been mowing a lawn where I lived before for like 10 years with an electric mower. It was so great. I just couldn't believe there weren't more electric mowers around. I just couldn't believe it. So you answered
All right,
my
that sounds like a testimonial.
yeah.
And Sally, that sounds like a testimonial. So go to the website after
Okay.
this meeting
All right.
and click on and submit that form. You'll see it. There's sort of prompts about doing that. And
All right.
and I think your name was Richard also.
Yeah.
So in terms of the product reviews, there's also a specific form because we want these reviews to have a certain uniformity to them.
Mhm.
And so they're not just like, oh, I love my mower. It's like, what do you like about it? And so it's very specific. You'll see. So that's why it says reviews you can use, because they're designed to be, you know, really useful.
Great.
Can these be rolling reviews? You know, you might like it in the beginning and then you find a damn thing
Well,
there's
that's-
something.
Yeah, so that's a good that's a good comment. And one of the things we're asking in there is how long have you owned it?
Yeah.
And so, that's the thing about these, a lot of reviews, you go online and you're seeing this review and you don't know, like, has the person just bought it? Or has they had it for, and so you're right, it's going to be a little challenging initially because a lot of these products are relatively new. People have only owned them for a couple of years, but yeah, I mean, people can, it might be worthwhile. That's a good point. Maybe to go back to people who have submitted reviews. Give me something to do this winter, next winter. That's great, Richard.
Yeah, do an update with those people. Yeah,
That's a
right.
great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. You're welcome.
I guess we can talk about window dressers next.
I think it's a fairly simple story. Stephen said that he got no responses to his request for people to take on some responsibilities. And his sense is the window dressers is looking for projects that will turn out, he said 150 windows, something like that. He said, we did 80 on our first run, and he just doesn't see it happening right now. So his feeling, and he wanted to discuss it, I'm sad that he isn't here, was we hold off a year.
Mhm.
But it's still up to the committee to decide on that. I think kind of implicit in that is that he's not really willing to take on the monumental task again with that low of response.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, he and I talked about it and we both agreed that we do it as long as 2 more people from the committee jumped on with enthusiasm. And it didn't happen. And it's understandable. People are pretty busy right now.
Yeah.
So what we might do is go to other towns that are doing it in Vermont and help them get their project off the ground for the first year, because there's a lot to learn in that first year. And we're kind of veterans at this point. So we could help other towns get, just work out the bugs on their first day of building windows. So we might do that. All right, so let's see. Richard, do you have any info from that car share, truck share idea?
Well, just to kind of bring everybody into the idea, we were brainstorming a couple of meetings ago and came up with the idea that if there were a truck available, a pickup truck in Bristol for people to use, to borrow, they wouldn't have to buy a truck that they only use once in a while and then drive it around at 9 miles to the gallon. And we even thought about maybe we could buy one and paint it funky colors, and we had a good time with it. But I called and emailed, and I haven't gotten responses. Car Share Vermont, they do this kind of thing. They have both cars and trucks, and in order to use them, you join, and then there's a mileage fee that you pay. It's I think 38 cents a mile, and it sounds pretty innovative. You apparently have a key fob that gives you access to it and records the time used and so on, and you have to reserve. So if they could station a truck here, a pickup truck, and the town or nobody else would have to invest, that would be terrific. I don't know if they're willing to do that. They have them spread mostly in the Burlington area. So this might be a kind of a reach out for them, but I'll stay on it.
I love that idea, Richard.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
wonder if it's something that, could be encouraged generally, particularly in towns where ordinary people don't need a pickup truck really, if you're just gonna haul brush from cleaning up the yard twice a year,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I'm going through that now with my caravan. It's 11 years old, it's fine. But when its days are over, I'm not gonna invest in another big vehicle. So it'd really be great.
I wonder if they have any with a hitch. I used to have a Toyota Tacoma, and that's one of the things I miss about it is not being able to pull a utility trailer from my little Chevy Bolt.
Well, Mari, if you need help, I have a hitch on my van.
Oh, thanks.
You could borrow it.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's the good old thing, is actually neighbor to neighbor, trusting and sharing. I've been
Yeah.
borrowing a car once a week and giving $15 to the person so I can go to Middlebury, go to the co-op, do a massage, do my work as a massage therapist. And it's a great deal. Anyway,
So that's working out.
what's that?
That's working out for you?
Yeah, it's been working out well.
Yeah. Great.
Today I
Good.
went in to get my vaccination, and I thought I was going to take the bus and use my bike to get around. And then I heard it was going to snow and rain, and I'm like, whoa. So last minute I called this other friend and used her car, left her $15 to put into the gas tank, and it was great. So that's been awesome. Okay, EV charging, we actually don't have an update. We thought we'd hear from Chris and Nathaniel, who are doing Green Peak Solar, who've really been looking into this in a big way. And we had a great meeting last time talking about, how they might be able to help out with figuring things out. Oh, we didn't have that meeting. Ian and I and those two had a meeting together, and we talked all about the EV chargers. And anyway, we don't have an update. They don't have any new news yet or anything, but hopefully that is going to happen. What do you got, Mari?
Can you give me an overview of where we're at? I know I reached out a little while ago.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I've always got it in the back of my mind or the front of my mind, especially with ARPA dollars, if we can either through a transportation bill or municipal bill or whatever vehicle we use, maybe pay for the cost of installation for EV chargers or something like that. So remind me of what the obstacles have been and where are we at now?
Yeah. So 3 years ago, we worked with that, it was the ESEV or whatever, the Volkswagen grant, I believe. We worked on that and we didn't quite get it in on time. So it took us a while trying to get it organized and see if we could get the okay from the select board and all that, and it didn't quite get in on time. So we didn't make it that year. The next year, we worked on it again, but we got it in, but we didn't get it because it was focused on places with more traffic or something. I think there was a different focus that year, not so much small towns. And then the following year, we focused on, Climate Economy Action Center worked with GMP and got GMP to offer 6 free, very small kind of chargers, I guess level 1 chargers, or maybe, I don't think they were level 2, but maybe they were, but it was a different type where you needed to find somewhere that it could be established, and then the owner of that place it was at would have to pay for the installation. And we looked and looked and looked and found different possibilities, and then they didn't work. And we finally found one. It seemed like it was going to work. GMP came and talked about it. And in the long run, the host, it was just going to cost the host too much to do, too much to pay for. So that didn't happen. So those are 3 failures. And now we talked about definitely having it on the main street where there's a pole and access to good energy, everything like that. So it's the money part of it, but the select board has okayed it in that area, and it's just a matter of coming up with the money.
So if we could get a contribution for the cost of installation, that would help.
Yeah.
And are they talking level 3 charger in addition to level 2 chargers?
Well, the level, it looked like so far, they're mainly, Vermont wants to space them out a certain way so that everyone in the state can get to it in 30 miles. And there's already one in Middlebury, and I think there's going to be one in Virginia. There's already one in Virginia. So we're kind of close to those. I don't know if we'd really, if they'd really count us as, we really need one. I don't know. I don't know what Waitsfield has, if they have one or not.
What does
They have-
Starksboro,
they have
what does
an-
Starksboro have?
They have, I think,
They have a level 2.
Yeah.
Do
And
they?
Waitsfield has a level 3, a new one. But I rarely travel that way anymore. It's all about me, of course. Starksboro's level 2. Hannaford's and Williston has a level 3. I don't need level 3s. Most people don't need them all the time, but they're super, as you know, super helpful when you're in a pinch and you just need to juice up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still seems like Bristol's such a crossroads.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot more expensive to get a level 3. That's the big thing. But, I mean, one of the things that the folks at Green Peak noticed is that there's probably going to be one person who creates a grant for those 11 fast chargers. And then it's up to them to decide where to put them around the state. And maybe he was thinking maybe Bristol could see if that would work out for them to get on, instead of, like, we wouldn't be able to do the grant ourselves. But anyway,
All right.
yeah. It looks
Getting
like
there.
probably level 2 chargers are probably more likely what we could get here as far as.
That totally makes sense. I would actually rather see more level 2 chargers than 1 or 2 level 2 chargers and a level 3 charger.
Yeah.
But we don't want them to charge too fast, because we want people to come and park and then kind of walk around the town.
Yeah,
We're not a gas station.
that's true.
Well, we've run through the agenda here, so anyone have any more questions?
Well, I wondered if, Mari, if you wanted to give us a sense of how things are going this year. I know that's a question for you.
Yeah, that's pretty loaded. Right now, the focus, there's a lot of stuff. I think the most contentious issue is the pension, and how to, it's funded fine. It's funded now. I think there's been differences of opinion about how much of a crisis we're in. It's definitely something that we need to address so it doesn't continue to get out of hand. And a number of us pressured House leadership to slow down. I was not happy with the first bill that dropped in House Government Ops. So I worked with a coalition of other legislators and got them to slow down, create a task force. Also make sure that the commission, the investment commission, is doing a better job of analyzing their investment strategies and having some independent actuarial and other analysis of their operations. So that's happening. So there are some good things that are happening there. I think one of the last sticking points is on the task force. There isn't equal representation between unions, VSEA, Vermont NEA, and the troopers, the state troopers, and what we would consider management or the state administration and legislators. So that's where we're at with that one.
Thank you.
What's your read on the bottle bill?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I was glad that we passed it. If you want to have some interesting, listen to some interesting debate, we had hours and hours and hours of debate on the bottle bill with all sorts of different, what ifs and scenarios. But I very much appreciated the beverage redemption centers did a lot of organizing themselves and came out in support of it, including, I apologize, I don't remember his name, but from our, from our own, our own redemption center. So that was good.
Cool.
And there was a lot of hyperbole again about how disastrous this was going to be, and it's not going to be disastrous.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah, thanks for all of your work behind the scenes and all of these important issues.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's
Same.
funny, whenever I go into the beverage center, Adam and I talk about it. And he's really a neat guy. He's a very responsible, concerned citizen. I really give him credit.
I'm probably not going to be in there for a while, so next time you go in, if you think of it, could you please thank him for me?
Okay.
I did thank the head of the redemption organization and asked him to spread that too, and I'll try to send Adam an email.
Well, thank you so much, Mari, for showing up and getting to be together and share some stuff. And yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too. And it's definitely been a unique year. I know it's been hard for everybody. I want to get back into more public communications with all of you. And it's just been such a challenge for both Caleb and I, and Caleb and Michaela have a new little one now. But I still welcome everyone reaching out in whatever way you want to. And we definitely will have some sort of forum or 2 or 3 coming up so that we can actually talk with one another.
Great.
Yeah, we missed it.
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mari,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It really is my pleasure, and I love being in community with all of you.
Yeah. Same here. We're lucky here in Vermont to have small enough communities to really connect. It's great.
That's it. I got a call from my former state representative in Western New York. Even though I have an 800 number, they think I'm still living there. That's how. It came at dinner time tonight.
Oh, funny. Well, I hope everyone stays well.
Yeah, you too.
Yes, you too.
Thanks. I promise I don't eat popcorn every night.
It's good fiber.
Yeah, whatever.
All
All
right.
right. Well, I guess we'll close down.
Move that we adjourn.
Yeah, we'll officially adjourn. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone, and enjoy the morning. Probably sunny and sparkling on that snow. I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds
Yep.
good. Say hi to Gail for me.
I will. Take care.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye-bye.